Sometimes we do things that seem so wrong, yet feel so right in the moment. And this is one of those stories. It's about love, betrayal, desperation, and redemption, all wrapped up into something I never thought I'd say out loud, let alone confess to the world. What if cheating was the thing that saved my marriage? That's right. I had an affair not because I wanted to leave, but because I wanted to stay. And now sitting here looking back at everything I've been through, I can't help but wonder if it was worth it, or if I just made a terrible mistake. It started with silence. The kind of silence that feels heavier than any argument ever could. We used to talk for hours about everything and nothing at all, but somewhere along the way, words stopped flowing between us like they once did. At first, I thought maybe it was just life getting in the way. You know how it goes. Bills, work, stress, family obligations, all piling on until there's no room left for anything else. But as time went on, I realized it wasn't just external pressures pushing us apart. It was him. Or maybe it was me. Or maybe it was both of us together, slowly drifting further away from each other without even realizing it. I tried everything to fix it. I planned date nights, cooked his favorite meals, sent sweet texts during the day, anything I could think of to remind him that I was still here, still wanting, still hoping, but nothing worked. He would smile politely, thank me for dinner, nod when I suggested going out, but the spark was gone. His eyes didn't light up anymore when he looked at me, and that emptiness in them broke my heart every single time. I felt invisible, like I wasn't enough anymore, like I couldn't reach him no matter how hard I tried. And then one day, something inside me snapped. Not loudly, not dramatically, but quietly, like a thread finally giving way after being pulled too tight for too long. I was standing in the kitchen washing dishes while he sat on the couch scrolling through his phone, completely disengaged from everything around him, including me. In that moment, I realized I couldn't keep doing this. I couldn't keep pouring myself into someone who didn't seem to care anymore. I needed more than silence, more than indifference, more than a hollow version of the man I fell in love with. So I made a decision, a reckless, selfish, dangerous decision, but one that came from a place of sheer desperation. The affair started almost by accident. Well, maybe not entirely by accident, but it certainly wasn't planned. There was someone at work, someone charming, attentive, funny, the kind of person who made me feel seen again. At first, it was harmless flirting, exchanging smiles over coffee, lingering just a little longer in conversations than necessary. But soon those small moments turned into something bigger, something intoxicating. For the first time in years, I felt alive, truly alive, like I mattered to someone. And yes, it was wrong. Yes, it hurt. Yes, it filled me with guilt. But it also woke me up in ways I hadn't anticipated. What surprised me most, though, was what happened next. Because contrary to what you might expect, the affair didn't drive us apart. It brought us closer together. When he found out, and oh, how he found out, the shock of it hit him like a freight train. Suddenly, he wasn't indifferent anymore. Suddenly, he cared deeply, desperately, urgently. He confronted me, demanded answers, cried, begged, asked me why. And in those raw, unfiltered conversations, we finally talked about everything we'd been avoiding for so long. Our fears, our frustrations, our unmet needs, our hopes, our dreams, our pain. The affair became a catalyst, forcing us to face the truth about our relationship, instead of continuing to pretend everything was fine when it clearly wasn't. Of course, it wasn't easy. Far from it. Those early days were messy, ugly, painful, full of tears, accusations, apologies, promises, broken trust, shattered egos, bruised hearts. But somehow, amidst all the chaos, we began to rebuild. Slowly, painstakingly, imperfectly. We learned to communicate again, really communicate, not just exchange pleasantries or skim the surface, but dive deep into the things that mattered most. We rediscovered each other, saw each other anew, not as the idealized versions we'd fallen in love with years ago, but as flawed, complicated, real people willing to fight for what we had. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying this is some happy ending wrapped in a neat little bow. Trust takes time to repair, wounds take even longer to heal, and scars remain forever reminders of the damage done. Some days are better than others, and there are still moments when doubt creeps in, when old habits resurface, when the weight of what happened threatens to pull us under again. But overall, we're stronger now, more connected, more aware of each other's needs, more committed to making this work. And strangely enough, I believe we owe that to the very thing that nearly destroyed us. Looking back, I can see how twisted it sounds, how counterintuitive it seems to cheat in order to save a marriage. Society tells us affairs are unforgivable acts of betrayal that destroy relationships beyond repair. And maybe in most cases that's true. But in our case, it forced us to confront the problems we'd been ignoring for far too long. It shook us out of complacency, pushed us to reevaluate what we truly wanted, and gave us a second chance to build something stronger than before. Without it, I honestly don't know where we'd be today. But here's the thing. Even though things have improved, even though we've come so far, I can't shake the question of whether I made the right choice. Was risking everything worth it? Did the end justify the means? Could we have gotten here without taking such drastic measures? These are questions I wrestle with constantly, ones I may never fully answer. And that's why I'm sharing my story today, not to glorify infidelity or suggest it's a solution for anyone else, but to open up a conversation about the complexities of relationships and the lengths people sometimes go to in order to save them. So I want to hear from you. If you were in my shoes, what would you have done? Would you have stayed silent and hoped things got better on their own? Would you have walked away altogether? Or would you have taken a risk like I did, believing it might lead to something greater, even if it meant causing pain along the way. Or perhaps you've experienced something similar yourself. Did it bring you closer together or tear you apart completely? Whatever your thoughts are, wherever you stand, I'd love to hear them, because ultimately these kinds of decisions aren't black and white. They're messy, complicated, deeply personal, and unique to each individual circumstance. Thank you for listening to my confession, for letting me share this part of my journey with you. It's not an easy thing to admit, especially knowing how judgmental the world can be. But if there's one thing I've learned through all of this, it's that honesty, even when it's uncomfortable, is the foundation of any strong relationship, whether romantic or otherwise. So please let me know what you think in the comments below. Your perspective means more to me than you can imagine.